I'm Susie Roberti, and welcome to Let's Talk Tail Waggers. I have a very, very lovely show. As usual, my guests are just wonderful today. But before we get started, I would like to say thank you to my camera person. Thank you, Mike. You know, BPTV's all volunteers. You're more than welcome to come up and do a show, learn how to do cameras, which is a big help in life. Go with us on a shoot, or just come up and see what a wonderful little corner of the world this is. I've been doing my show now on July the 4th, 2012. It will be 16 years. My first show aired on July the 4th. And I have had a wonderful, wonderful, blessed time here. It's been so enjoyable, and the sweet people that we get to come up. So please, if you have time, come up and join us. I think you'll really like it. So now I'm going to say, hi, Susie Smith.
Hi, Susie Roberti. Glad to be here.
Susie's our girl for
Pets for U.S. Vets. And I'm from 84 Fitness Center, and I started the Pets for U.S. Vets Veterans Fund 2 years ago. This will be our third year with the Veterans Fund at the Washington Area Humane Society, which allows our local veterans to not have to pay adoption fees.
And that, I think, is wonderful.
Oh yeah, we're honoring our veterans and trying to help the animals at the Humane Society.
Humane Society. Now, we have a lovely, pretty girl here today. We usually have Kelly, but you're just as pretty. And her name is Joey. And what do you do at the Washington Area Humane Society?
I am the off-site event coordinator, and I just started in May, the beginning of May. So I'm still new, and I'm loving every day.
And what do you get into?
We go to a lot of festivals, a lot of different things where there's going to be a lot of people, so we can get our animals exposed to those who might not know where our shelter is or might not have the time to come out, but they already have, family plans to go. This past weekend, we were at the car show at the Trolley Museum.
Oh.
And that was really great. We got our animals there, a lot of exposure, a lot of families, a lot of people looking for them.
We got a sad girl here today. She is all confused.
She doesn't like to be ignored.
Yeah, well, you can pet her. You're allowed to. And just so long as we make her happy, huh? Poor little baby. She was just found, right?
Yeah, she was a stray. A very nice lady brought her into our shelter in the middle of May, I believe. And she is around 8 years old, so she's a senior dog, which I think they're fantastic. And she had a couple lacerations on her hip and her ears, and she had pretty bad dental rot, so she wasn't eating as much as she should. So you can see she's still a little skinny, but
yeah. Oh, little girl.
But she's doing so much better, and she loves everybody and everything. She's good with dogs, cats,
and you
people,
can tell.
kids.
You can tell when she came in, she was happy, but she's just a little bit shy and scared.
Yeah, her nose leads her everywhere she needs to go. She's your typical beagle.
And if you have to pet her because she's going to cry, then she likes to be.
She does.
I have 4 hound dogs, and they all want to be the center of attention.
Yes.
That's how they are.
But she seems to be dear and sweet.
Yes,
so what
Bess
do you
is
think
very
about
nice.
your job?
I love it. Ever since I was little, I've wanted to work with animals. If you can ask anybody who knows me, and they say that, I'm just one of those people who loves animals, more than most people out there.
Yeah.
And,
but it's a lot different, though, than just saying I love animals
right.
when you get into
Exactly.
something, because
it's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work, and
Yes.
it's a lot of selfless work. If for some reason, everyone knows I've groomed for many, many years and had to retire. But the people, I would love to groom dogs. I think that would be so much fun. That would be just so sweet. And, most of the time I'd go, yeah. But it isn't. You have to have a passion. I mean, it is something like a doctor likes to go and cut people open or whatever. You just really, these guys are going to poop on you. They're going to pee on you. They're going to throw up on you. You can't say, turn right, please, so that I can do this side of your thing. You know what I mean? It has to be a passion, a part of you that the Lord gave you.
Oh, I definitely agree, because, I've been a groomer forever, too, and people would come into the shop and say, I love animals, I want to work here. and as soon as they had to pluck a hair out of an ear or, you know, clean an eye or something, they were gone.
Yucky,
Yeah,
yucky, yucky.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're
I do. I love every second. When I'm not at work, I often miss it, and I miss them the most.
yeah.
You know.
Now, what other kind of things are going to happen this summer?
Well, we have a couple events planned at the shelter itself. We have a Dog Days of Summer Festival, which is our big event coming up on July 14th and 15th. And that'll be at the shelter, and we have the Washington Wild Things will be there, and hopefully some players are going to come.
Wow,
but,
nice.
But the mascot will be there. The Washington Wild Things mascot will be there, so that'll be fun for the kids.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a bunch of vendors.
Terrific.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. And we're starting to invite people to that. And then our next big event is our golf outing in August. Yeah, on August 12th. And it's one of our biggest fundraisers throughout the year. So we're really pushing for that and working hard for our golf outing, which is at Lindenwood in Canonsburg.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, we'll probably be at every festival you can imagine. In the fall, we'll be at the Pumpkin Festival in Houston. We'll be at the Washington County Fair.
And you'll be at the
we'll be at the Denora Street Fair.
You'll be at the dog party.
We'll be at the dog party at 84 Fitness.
You'll be there.
Yes, we will.
Aren't you having a family reunion?
Oh, little girl.
We are, and it was scheduled for July, but it's going to get pushed back to September, I believe, now, because we just, are just so busy. And we really want to focus on the stuff that we have. Plus, the weather will be a lot better to be outside, and everybody gets into festival season when it comes to the fall. So
that's true. That's true.
And we had it scheduled for the same day as the Whiskey Rebellion in Washington, and we plan on going to that. So.
Yeah, you guys have been all over the place, I've noticed
Yeah.
lately. This new group at the Humane Society seems to be reaching out a little better into the community, I've noticed. And it's hard. I mean, there's always have been really good people at the Humane Society, but it seems a little tighter right now down there.
And I think it's just really hard
Yeah.
to find people that want to volunteer their time, and you just get so worked. And when you go into it, I don't think you really realize, you awe me. I mean, I just am like, oh my Lord. And the same goes with Susie over here. It just awes me, the work, the time and everything that you guys do. And it's always so perfect. When it ends up, it's just at the end of the day, when everything's over, you can see how hard all of you try.
But people wouldn't even know about it if it wasn't for someone like you that keeps asking us to come on here and talk about it. And Susie does so much for animals, Joey. She does more than most people I've ever met. So,
Thank you.
But what's the advantages of adopting an older pet? I know we wanted to touch on that today. What do you think are the advantages? Why would people come in and adopt someone that might be 7 years old or?
Well, and we do consider whenever they hit at the shelter, really over 5, they become harder to adopt because they kind of have that. People think that they're not going to live much longer, and even though they're 5, I mean, my dogs live till 16, so that's 11 more years you got in them. So they're considered harder to adopt after 5. Veterinarians usually consider pets seniors when they're past 7. But I mean, with senior dogs, what you see is what you get. I mean, Bess here, she's going to be this size the rest of her life. She's going to need.
That's true. You already know.
Yeah, she's going to need this grooming the rest of her life. She's going to have this temperament. She's going to have this attitude. She's still going to love people the rest of her life. And with a puppy or a younger dog, you're not sure. They still have growing to do. They still their hair might get longer. They might, And
I think it's nicer for us senior citizens that we get an older dog because, like you're saying. What you see is what you get.
Yes.
And we look at her.
Oh, so pretty.
And we need somebody to love, and they need somebody to love. And this little girl here would just be absolutely perfection for somebody because she was very loyal to whomever, and all of a sudden one day she just was there.
Yeah, and they appreciate the older dogs. They know that they're getting love. They're not distracted
dogs.
by their energy or by wanting to play. All they want is love.
Yeah.
So
And
they are an instant companion for you.
And I know know they've been saved. I know.
Yep,
with
they
all my
absolutely
heart.
do.
Oh, they do, and they're so. Oh, she wants more milk bone.
You
You
want some
spoil
more?
her now.
Here, little girl.
Beagles always have to
Oh,
have
look
treats.
how sweet.
They always have to eat
How
food.
sweet she takes it from you.
Aw.
She's a dear little baby girl.
And
Aw.
with a lot of older dogs too, somebody else has done, most of the hard work for you.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry about house training them. A lot of them are house trained. A lot of them already know tricks or have the manners, like taking treats easily. And
She's
they
very
don't
gentle.
they don't nibble. And she's looking for more now.
I love older dogs. I just think they're so special. Their personalities are, are just already developed, and they are thankful. They know that
Yes.
they've been rescued. We have an 11-year-old hound dog, and he's just precious. Harley, he'll be on the show sometime. He wants to come on, but yeah, they're just. We love the older hounds.
Yeah, they're fantastic dogs.
You have some really great older dogs down there. I've noticed lately. Some,
We have a lot of older dogs. We really do.
some
And
nice ones.
like I said, Bess is 8, so she's a senior. We have a lab, Cody. He's
Beagles
8.
live forever, though.
Beagles do.
My beagles have always lived to be 17, 18 years
yeah,
old.
she's still got she's
Oh,
only
she's-
halfway
Did
there,
know that
She's got more.
that Beagles have the record for having the most babies, 19 babies at one time.
Really?
Oh wow.
Oh, look at her looking at the camera
Yeah.
now.
She's getting to know it's going to be okay.
She's settled. She's looking for more cookies.
She
Well,
is.
you
You
think
missed it,
you
Bess.
think maybe it's because people can't afford them that you're getting the older dogs, or
Yeah, a lot of people, they move and for whatever reason don't want to take their pets with
yeah,
them.
yeah, or maybe
oh,
they
you
just
found
pass
it.
away.
Or we get a lot of older dogs in that way. Their owners have passed, and that's really hard on them. They get a lot of anxiety when they come in because
Yeah.
they're used to being spoiled rotten their whole life, and they were treated very well.
Yeah.
But whether it's their owners' kids have moved away and started their own lives and just can't care for a dog. So
Yeah, they don't care to care for
yeah,
them.
and so there's no family member
Yeah.
to take it. So
Well, I would hope that someone would open their heart to Bess and some of the other non-puppy dogs, because there are dogs down there that are 1 and 2 years old. And on the Pets for U.S. Vets program, our local veterans can adopt anyone over 7 months old at no charge. And they're already
wow.
spayed, neutered,
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to date on shots,
Yep.
they're socialized. They've
Well,
been,
they know that she's been she's not going to be a mummy.
No, she's been spayed and she has all her shots. She's up to date on everything, and she's ready to go.
oh, she'd be great for a family with
She would.
kids. You can see that.
Fantastic.
Oh, beagles are-
Yeah,
She's been around kids and she loves them.
Beagles, when they bark, is that bay they call it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
That's the only thing you have to realize, that their bark is
Yeah.
a little bit different than
But it's so
the regular-
charming.
Yeah.
We love that sound. My husband and I have always had hound dogs. In fact, when we got married, it was just the 4 of us, his hound dog and my hound dog.
Aw.
And we eloped. But 2 or 3 times a day, our 4 hounds just, for no apparent reason, they just howl. They just start. And
They're happy.
it goes for about 2 minutes, and,
Yeah.
and we don't stop it because that's
what they do.
That's what they do. That's their
yeah.
communication, and
We
love it.
We had one that barked at the full moon
Oh yeah.
and would sit out. And now this was all country when I was a kid. There was nothing here, and she would sit out in the middle of Logan Road and bark at the moon. And that was for real.
Sometimes I
and
feel like doing that.
But nobody was around. Now somebody would call the police on her. But she'd just sit out there and have the best old time.
I
And it
know.
was that big harvest moon. She'd just bark and bark.
It's
and
funny.
"Ooh."
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I have 1 milk bone left, so I'm going to pass that over to you, Joey, and see if
She
that's
she is a dear little soul, and it's wonderful of you to bring her here because
yeah.
if we can find her a home, and the other guys a home.
Yeah, we have
Have
lots
you
of
been
great
getting lots
seniors.
of them adopted?
We have. We've been doing really good with our adoptions. We're very happy, but our job's not done until they're all out of there. So
Yeah.
well, as soon as one gets adopted, you have a list of
we do. We have it's a never-ending cycle. They are always
never-ending.
coming
Yeah,
in, and we
it's
have a
hard.
building where the dogs are before they can come down.
But you can't let that stop you.
No, no.
I just would like to just ask people to, if you're ready to adopt an animal, please go to the Washington Area Humane Society.
That's our favorite.
That's
and guess
it.
what, Joey?
And
What?
go there
It's time to say goodbye.
All right.
Oh, so nice of you to come
Yeah,
today.
well, thank you for having me.
And you are going to come back, I hope.
Oh, of course.
With lots of
course I will.
kids and
With
lots of
them.
stories and
Lots of fur babies,
stories
huh?
about events.
Absolutely.
The Tail Waggers says we really do thank you.
No, we thank you. We appreciate it.
With all my heart, I do. Thank you so much. Well, I want to say thank you again to our lovely young lady that we had for the first part of Tail Waggers. Second part of Tail Waggers is summertime. It's very important that we become very conscious of heat. Dogs, kitty cats, birds, whatever, water. And if you do have bird bath, or a bucket of water that's down around the back of the house that you forgot about, any water, please make sure that if the birds come and sit on the edge and go poo-poo, you have to clean that water, because bird poo-poo is very dangerous to every animal except a bird. And I've had many dogs, friends that almost lost their dogs because they just were at someone's house visiting and they jumped up and they had a bird bath and they licked the water and became very ill. But water. Walking your dog, it just hurts my feelings so bad, and I don't dare go and say anything to anyone. Because it's not etiquette, but walk them in the cool of the morning or the shade in the afternoon or evening. Dogs, I see them, people parading them down the roads, and their pads aren't made to protect them from heat. Their pads are made to protect them from rough ground or rocks or whatever. When they're walking on the road, if you cannot take your shoes off and walk on that road comfortably, then they should not be walking on that.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
And what happens is the heat travels up their legs, and if they're a black dog, a dark brown dog, or any dog, but especially the big old guys, that are black and slow, black absorbs the heat very quickly. So you have them on the road, you have the heat coming up their legs, the heat being absorbed into their body from the color or from the sun, and then the only way they can sweat is through their tongue. And when your dog becomes panting when you are on a walk, that means he is overheating. And you must carry water with you. And what I love about bottled water, that's the only thing I really like about bottled water, because I used to always have to carry a canteen. Please carry that as soon as when you're walking them, as soon as they start that panting, pour a little bit on their head to get their temperature down, and see if you can get it, a little bit on their tongue, or take a little bowl with you. I'm really not truly being dramatic about this. This is so very important for your dog, his safety. They heat up so quickly. They dehydrate so fast. Their kidneys, their liver. It is. Please, just sit down and think about this, and you will really realize. And I know a lot of people do not understand how bad heat is, even for a kitty cat, to be outside in the heat. It's just be kind. I'm trying here I wrote everything down so I didn't forget anything. And and their toenails, so very important. The Washington Area Humane Society cuts their toenails. If you would like to take a ride down, ask your vet. When they are walking, dogs' toenails, their cuticle is all the way around. It's not like our cuticle is here and stops. Theirs goes all the way around. So when their toenails grow out and they're real, very, very long, that is pushing and opening this cuticle under here, whether it's just the pressure. And they can get dirt, can get under there. Their feet can get infected. You don't know that. They get blood poisoning. And
I've actually known where dogs' toenails have been so long that they were bent up, and it actually broke. It cracked the like the metatarsal bones in their feet because they're not setting properly.
Yes, exactly. And when that cuticle that's under here, you pick their little foot up, and you'll see it goes all the way around. And when that pressure goes like that, that will pull and open that. And it also could open here, but mainly under here. And their little feet get so sore. Please, it's wonderful that you're taking them down to the park. I'm so happy that when I take a ride or I walk, that I see you walking down there. But please try to stay over in the shady parts.
You know what I saw the other day that really bothered me? Not to interrupt you, but
you're not. Go ahead.
But I'll forget if I don't tell you.
Okay, yeah.
But I saw a girl jogging, and it was, you know how hot it's been lately in the 90s, and she was actually jogging, and her dog was behind her on a leash, panting and dragging him along. So, of course, I had to say something, about, do you need some water? But the dog obviously was in a lot of stress. He did not want to be drugged behind in 90-degree weather. So if you're a runner, and I appreciate that because I like fitness a lot, but don't take your dog in the summer. They really don't want to be out there running in the heat of the day.
Well, you're right. If you do it in the morning.
In the morning.
Or do it in the cool of the, really it should be in the evening, late evening, when the temperatures, and the road temperatures are starting to cool down. I don't know how to say it to you. It's just so sad. And when they begin to pant, that is a danger signal that they are overheating. And you've got to stop. If you're a runner, walker, whatever you are, you've got to stop and give them a moment. Take the water out, pour it over their little head and rub it in, or a little bit on its back, and try to tip it over, even if you can get them to wet their tongue. I used to have, I can't go walking far anymore, but I used to have a little thing that hung on the side of the belt in my canteen, and I would take the bowl and set it down, put the water in, for them to drink. And they'll go forever with you. There'll be no dragging them, there'll be no sitting down, all that kind of stuff. It's just being kind to them, and they.
I just think people don't understand. So it's really good that you brought this up today. My husband Jimmy and I were riding through a parking lot, and it was one of those 90-degree days out at Washington Mall area. And I said, well, I asked him to stop for a second because I thought I saw a dog in a car. So we pulled back around, and it was an old black Doberman Pinscher. The windows were totally up. They weren't even cracked at all. So I went over to the car and I opened the door. Luckily it was unlocked, but I didn't want to let him out. And it was a big Doberman. I didn't know if he was friendly, but he knew I was helping, so he was so thankful. So I opened it up enough just to get his head out the door and was scratching his head. And it was in front of the liquor store. So I thought, just off chance, I'm going to go into this liquor store. Well, the woman was in there buying liquor.
And she's allowed.
And that's fine. But I waited for a few minutes, and she was still in there shopping. So I went up, I asked the clerk, to make an announcement, and they did. And she came to me and said, "Why, is there a problem with my dog?" And I said, "Well, yeah, he's suffering out there. We're holding the door open to your car because I actually looked like he was going to pass out. He was to that point."
You know something? I think it would be a good experiment. You sit in the car. Get in the car.
Sit there.
Go in and just sit
minutes.
there in the sun and sit there for 15 or 20 minutes. And you will see how fast that car just becomes an oven.
Oh, it becomes an oven. It goes up to 120 before you know it. We've put thermometers in our vehicles before. Well, I asked the woman, she said, "Well, I was only going to be in here a few minutes." And I said, "But what would happen if you had a heart attack while you were in here? Just some, obscure, or something happened to you. Nobody knew your dog was out here in the car, so he would be dead within the half hour."
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't realize. I wasn't being mean to her, but I was really scared for the dogs.
I know in my heart of hearts that most people do not realize.
They don't mean to. They
truly, and when you go out walking your dog, it's a wonderful time for you and a wonderful time for the dog. And in the fall, it's magnificent. In the winter, the main thing in the winter time is that the salt that's on the road. That, people don't realize that will get in between their toes, and that means that it starts to eat and they get sores. So when you bring them in, you've really got to, wash your little feet each time. And there's not too much danger of them freezing to death because you're cold too. So common sense tells you to come in. But please, and give the big old black dogs a break. Oh, my heart just sobs for them.
Suze, what about the dogs that are tied out? We need to...
Yep. The dogs that are tied out must have a lot of water, not a bowl, water all the time. And please tie them in a place that receives no sun. It's the same thing here.
I've known it happening. Dogs have died.
Oh, yeah.
Just being tied out in the heat.
So we're getting we got to say goodbye signal.
Okay. Well, I hope we got that message across to keep the dogs cool in this heat.
Yes, and don't forget Pets for Vets, because that's coming up in October.
October 6th.
Yes, and like always, I want to say thank you to everyone. I'm very happy that you're enjoying our shows. And BPTV is a wonderful little place. Susie's just come on board. So watch for her show, Commit to be Fit. And the Washington Area Humane Society. If you have some money, all the humane societies are in desperate need. They really are. And like always, I love you. And thanks from all the tail waggers.